This is LibertyBloc, semi-live from Nevermind Where, USA. Liberty is always king of the hill here. God bless our troops. Follow or subscribe if you never want to miss a beat. Drop a comment if you have something to say. Like and comment, hell yeah, if you're a blockhead. And of course, sharing is caring. So, if the Iran deal falls apart, the U.S. is prepared to go back to major combat operations, strikes, targeted incursions, and of course direct calls for the regime to be changed. History is quite clear, though. You can bomb a country into ruins, but you cannot bomb a regime into submission. The U.S. is now seemingly walking a tightrope. Strategic patience, military containment, economic pressure, cobbling votes together in Congress to ensure peace, that's a task in itself, and quiet diplomacy, all while trying to keep that 60-day ceasefire going. The administration says talks are very close, but not there yet. The obstacles are still the same. Stockpiles of enriched uranium, Iran's insistence on its right to enrich, the U.S. desire to remove that material, and opening the strait. And all that is contingent on independent verification after the fact. The big question, if the deal collapses, what's next? Well, Plan B is already on the table. In late February of this year, after talks stalled, the U.S. and Israel launched attacks. They hit Iran. Trump called for regime change and urged the Iranian military and the public to overthrow the hardline government. The president said, bombs, missiles, and explosions will be everywhere. That is Plan B. Massive air and missile strikes, targeted operations, potential incursions, including against regime personnel, and explicit calls for the Iranian people to rise up. This time it's not likely to stop until the regime is gone. The American public will get behind a winner. An analyst, though, warned that airstrikes alone cannot engineer regime change without fracturing the military and killing that coercive power. But the logic is clear. Use calibrated force to weaken the regime, shift the internal balance, and create a space for a political outcome that we want, all without major troop commitments on our part. So where do limited troops fit in? Not as an occupational force. The U.S. is not conducting a major Iran invasion to topple the regime. Not with massive boots on the ground, anyway. If strikes escalated, limited tactical troops may be needed for very specific missions. Securing key sites, conducting targeted raids, again, maybe against actual regime targets. Helping clear mines, escorting ships through the strait. All this. Their role would be precision, not presence. This all to degrade the regime's ability to threaten the region and to protect those vital shipping lines. Now for the liberty angle. You knew I was going there. Some of the real victims here are the Iranian citizens themselves. They're the ones living under sanctions, surveillance, and the constant threat of war, all while their leaders have tried to build and are building nuclear weapons under the guise of nuclear power. Iran's internal opposition is fractured. Kurdish rebels, Balak separatists, leftists, monarchists, and others, some of which are designated as terrorist groups, which of course complicates any U.S. support from that area. But at the core, the Iranian citizens are the ones who want to embrace liberty, free of sanctions, free of the regime, and free of war. A truly liberty-centered foreign policy would make that clear. The U.S. is not seeking regime change at the expense of the Iranian people. We want to stop the production of nuclear weapons, secure the strait, and reduce the threat of war. But we also want to protect the space for the Iranian people to secure their own future. Limited troops, if they ever come, should not be about empire building. They should be about protecting the conditions for freedom. Again, not governing, making it clear the U.S. stands with the Iranian people, and we don't let up until it's done. The real question is, will we give the Iranian people the space to do this, to choose their own future? Or will we keep cycling through pressure strikes and half deals and leave them under the same hardline rule? I believe a limited, purposeful force secured with foreign policy that pressures the regime ultimately respects the desire of the Iranian people to have a chance at liberty. The people outside that refer to that great nation as Persia covet this. They want it for their former countrymen. Freedom isn't driven by occupation. It's fostered by targeted policy, truth, and the courage to stand with the Iranian people. Liberty is king of the hill here. This is LibertyBloc, and I yield back the balance of my time. God bless everyone.